Hey everyone, James Niggemeyer here. Thank you for tuning back into my YouTube channel. It's June and a lot of guys like to throw frogs in the summertime, and for good reason. I mean, they just catch fish, and I think they're just a really productive way to not only catch fish, but get some better quality bites as you move into the summer, into the dog days of summer and so forth. So I've got a tip for you guys on a modification that you can do to your frogs that I feel like will help you hook and land more fish. Before I get right into it, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please hit the subscribe button. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think. So, frog fishing. I'm sure there's a bunch of videos about what people do with the modifications and the things like that that they do to their frogs so that they can get more bites, get more strikes, and hook and land more fish, because that's something that's inherently an issue with frog fishing. With all topwater fishing, you're going to have fish that swipe at it, slash at it, bump it, jump over it, different things like that. So we're always trying to, kind of elevate the odds into our favor about how we can hook and land more fish. And with a frog, it's no different. I mean, these guys are going to draw the attention of fish, even if the fish don't really have an intention of biting it, which is great because it's a great search tool for that reason. It'll actually help you locate fish. But getting to the point, one of the things that I really do is, this is like a brand new frog I've not done anything to, and it's out of the package. Now, some frogs are going to come on the market, they're going to come with shorter tails and longer tails, but that one's out of the package. And this one's one that I modified, same color here, and this one's got battle scars on it. I've caught fish on it, and what I did was I basically, sorry, the wind's kind of playing with that, but as you can see, I've taken about 1 inch to 1.5 inches off the bottom length of my frog. And what that does is help you draw the fish's attention to the business end or the hook section, and less around the legs or tails or the rubber skirting material coming off the back of the frog. And that'll help you hook and land more fish. I feel like a lot of times, well, not a lot of times, but I feel like it's an issue with frog fishing. Your bait's kind of sitting like that in the water. Your tails are kind of like at this angle, and if a fish just kind of swipes at it, he'll pull this down. And even if you give it to him, a lot of times it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to get the whole bait. So we're wanting to lessening the length on our tail so that this is where they're going to want to, there's more of a chance or more percentage of them eating the body of the bait, and less focusing on an elongated tail like that. So I basically just take some scissors and I just basically, trim off 1 inch or 1.5 inches off the back. One of the things that I have noticed when I am trimming frogs is that if I start to get too short, the silicone or rubber on the back of these frogs will help kind of, as they lay out there, they kind of help level out the bait. When I trim it too short, this starts to happen. I feel like this starts to drop down. This kind of adds some flotation to some degree. It helps the bait kind of ride a little bit more level. And the shorter you get it, there's a point where you don't want to trim too much because it'll just kind of change the elevation of the bait. Now, if you're fishing your frog on mats or pads or something, some sort of vegetation, some sort of cover where your bait's actually going over things, you don't have to worry about that so much. And then you could even, I've seen guys trim it like down to like the nubs. Just barely having anything out the back there, so that, of course, then the bass feels like it really needs to focus on the body to get anything. And you don't have that issue of it dropping down too low. But that's something that I've kind of noticed, not a big deal, but it's something to take into consideration before you just go chopping. You might want to just chop a little at a time or cut a little bit off the back end and then just throw it in the water and see what you think about the overall attitude or personality of the way the bait sits in the water based on the amount of tail or silicone or rubber that you trim off the back. But that's just a quick video with a little tip on how to hook and land more fish with your frog. I've got another color here I like this green pumpkin one. These are all Strike King sexy frogs, and this is a green pumpkin one. This has been a really good one for me. And then obviously there's that red brownish color. That's also a good one. But that's one out of the package. And then this is one that I trimmed out. So you can see I'm probably this one's probably not as equal on the length on here. I used to trim them leaving one longer to help it walk, and that can be a good thing. But now I just go ahead and once you get used to what you need to do to walk your frog, then trimming them one shorter than the other isn't really necessarily an issue. And the reason guys will trim one shorter than the other is because it then creates an imbalance, so that when you twitch it, this is going to have more drag than this one, and it's going to kick the head to one side or the other, and then it'll help you to walk that frog like this. So that is a trick too, a little modification if you're having trouble walking your frogs left, right, like a walk the dog fashion. Leave one a little bit longer, and that'll create some drag and imbalance to help that nose to cut over one side or the other, so that you can twitch it a little easier, and it helps, definitely helps. But just a couple of tips on, modifications that you can do to your frogs. They're just a great way to catch fish. I feel like some of the best frog fishings in the spawn and post spawn, but I definitely love throwing them in the summer and as you move into the fall. They're just great baits for catching fish and locating fish. Thanks for tuning into the YouTube channel. Hope you like this video, and until next time, good fishing.